Congressman Jim Jordan is a Republican representing Ohio, right in the middle of all this, and he joins us tonight. Congressman, thanks a lot for coming on. So the obvious question as we have the final debate over the wall during the final hours of the Republican Congress.
Yeah.
Why now? Why 2 years later?
Well, you're right. We should have done it earlier. We should have done it in March on the big spending bill. We told American people we would. Then we said, no, we're going to do it in September. Didn't do it then on that spending bill. Then we said we'll do it on December 7th. No, we didn't do it then. And then we said we'll do it on December 21st. We did it tonight in the House. I mean, just a few minutes ago it passed. Even though last week in the Oval Office, Nancy Pelosi said the House can't get the votes to pass a border security wall, funding for a border security wall. We just did a few minutes ago, got 217 votes. I think the Democrats had 185. So we just passed it in the House. That's step one, and now it goes back to the Senate, and we'll see what happens from there. But we need to stand firm on this because, as you said, as the president said, this is a central promise we made the voters in 2016. This is our last best chance to do what everyone knows is just good common sense. Everyone but Democrats, I should say, knows is good common sense.
But I think it's fair for the rest of us to press a little deeper and ask, well, why didn't it happen? I mean, you're absolutely right. It should have happened. You probably would have preferred it had happened earlier. But
we pushed for it to happen earlier, yes.
Right. I remember. But it didn't, and that means that people prevented it from happening. Obviously, Speaker Ryan was one of them. Who else? Just so the rest of us can keep score.
Well, look, it's always easier. I mean, to do something that really counts and has lasting value, lasting meaning, it's never easy. So one
it's
good
hard,
thing,
for sure.
Well, exactly. So anything worth doing is always difficult, but Congress always has a way of trying to take the least resistant route and do the easy thing. So that's why it happened, I think, most often.
Well, wait, but hold on. I mean, look, and I know you were for it, but the tax bill was definitely hard. There was a lot of opposition to it. And the leadership just decided we're getting this done.
Yes.
It's not something that Trump ran on or there was broad public support for, but they wanted it and they got it done. And they worked really hard, came on the show, made the case for it. They didn't do that with the wall. And why? Again, I think it's fair to know, since you're on the inside and we're not, who prevented that?
Well, I don't know what prevented it, but I think the intensity was more for the tax cuts than it was for repealing and replacing Obamacare and building the border security wall. I think you're right about that. But there's some intensity today. We've been pushing, and like I said, we just passed a bill that puts $5 billion for a border security wall, and that is a good first step.
Amen to that. Congressman, thanks very much for coming on for that update.
You bet, Tucker. Thank you.
Julian Epstein is a former chief counsel to